Hello everyone, my name is Abhiram Kotra, and today we're going to be talking about strings and rackets. So there are three main types of strings, polyester, multifilament, and gut. And in gut there are two main types as well, those being natural gut and synthetic gut. And each of these have their own strengths and weaknesses, pros and cons. And the most common of the three types of strings is polyester, as it is well-rounded and incorporates everything else that all the other strings have. So in polyester strings, these are often the most common because they're the most durable and last the longest. They also provide the most tension and power, and they also provide control and spin, which gets the grip on the ball when hitting it. The main purpose polyester strings are used is because they have really good control and they last the longest, but they also generate the most spin out of all the three. Polyester strings are usually just one solid string, and you can cut it in half and there's no gaps between it. For a multi-filament string, these strings are a lot softer compared to our polyester strings, and they often are compiled of multiple nylon strings that are super small and surrounded in one cable. So basically think of like an electrical cable with the copper inside of it. These polyester strings are used for older age players as they are softer, and every time you hit the ball, you don't feel as much impact as you would in a polyester string. And because of its softness, you don't get too much spin or control, and the durability is very short. But you are less likely to get any tennis elbows or wrist injuries. And lastly, for the third type, there are two main types. So our natural gut is composed of actual cows, and so they take the intestines of cows and they compile it into one super small string, and these provide the most comfort out of any other type of string, and they are very smooth and give you a lot of power. Synthetic gut is just synthetic like intestines, and they're largely composed of nylon, and it's very similar to the gut, but it's not an actual cow. So the most common type of string in each category is um, Solinco Hyper G, which is green and it's a polyester string. I've strung this many times for clients that have asked me to string their rackets, and it is very popular. I personally have experience with this string as well, and it's a very solid string. Gives you a lot of control, spin, and power. The best multi or the most common used multi-filament string is your Wilson NXT Comfort. This string is very soft and it does have a lot of durability compared to most multi-filament strings. I don't have experience, but I have strung this and it is a very good string to play with if you're looking to get some more power with a multi-filament string, as they don't provide too much. Synthetic gut, you have your Gamma synthetic gut. I personally have not strung this, so I don't know much about it, but I've heard reviews on it, and my friends have used it, and they said that the playstyle is very smooth and you get a lot of power compared. It's comparatively somewhat similar to a polyester string. And lastly, your natural gut is your Bablap VS Touch. So onto our rackets. Like strings, there are three main types of rackets. There are power rackets, control rackets, and balance rackets. Our power rackets usually have a heavier handle, while control rackets have heavier heads. In the next slide, I'll show you the parts of a tennis racket so you can see where the weight distribution is. For balance rackets, they're usually the same amount in both the handle and the head, allowing the shaft to hold the most power. So here you can see that the head is the frame of the racket. So the part where you put in the string is what you would consider the head. The shaft is the center, the triangular part of the racket, and the handle is where your grip would be. So in our rackets, once again, there are three different types, and I'll be going over a little more in every topic. So for our control rackets, They often have heavier heads, which allow them to be a lot heavier comparative to the other two, and this allows it to be more stable and firm while you're hitting the ball, allowing you to have better placement within the court. Though the heads are a lot smaller and the gaps between the string bridges are very small, so it allows for more string per um, string per surface area, which allows for better placement. In your power rackets, you usually have a heavier handle, but that's not always true. There are multiple different power rackets that have heavier heads. I've used one is called the Babolat Pure Drive. It is very heavy, but it is also considered a power racket as it's not a control racket. These rackets are usually lightweight, and they also have bigger heads, which allow you to have more of a wider span to hit the ball. They also generate more power. Even though they're light, they are very light because you can use your own power and your inertia of your swing to make your own force and not swing around one big chunk of metal like your control rackets. Your balance rackets aren't either too heavy or too light. They're usually in between and are perfect for beginners to play with. The most of the weight is in the shaft, so when you hold the middle of the shaft, or when you put your finger into the triangle, you can put your one finger in the triangle and let go of it, and you can see that the racket's balanced in the center. The most common type of racket in each category is the Babolat Pure Drive for power. This racket is a very good racket. It allows you to generate a lot of power even though it's very heavy. You're allowed to it is very easy to swing around. Control racket is your Winston Pro Stuff. This, on the other hand, is an even heavier racket, and it does allow for a lot of control. It is a head-heavy racket, so you can control the ball, and it has more strings in your mains than a normal racket. And for your balance, you have the Babolat Pure Arrow. This has become recently really popular with the new up-and-coming Alcaraz, and this is also his main racket. And this is a versatile racket and it allows for power and control to be put into one. That's it for today, and thank you for watching.